Alright, hello and welcome to a Community Legacy League recap video. I am BoBoFraggles, recording this on behalf of the Magic Online Society. And tonight we took Infect through a Community Legacy League event. So we're playing Bant Infect, and let's see how we did. So we're on the play. We like being on the play. This hand's, pretty good. It's got some interaction. It's got 2 hierarchs, 2 agents. I don't think you can really ask for anything more. Alright, our opponent mauls the 5, so we're in good shape. We're just going to go ahead and drop this hierarch, so we have Daze back up. So here, I don't want them to take my creature, so I actually Daze the Thoughtseize. It does put me behind on land a little bit, but that's okay. So I go ahead and drop it because I don't want to get Thoughtseized again. We have crop rotation as a extra infect creature. So they can't really stop us right now. So they play Verdant Catacombs, and then they Cabal Therapy us. I'm really happy that Thoughtseize didn't resolve now. And they named Berserk, which is smart. Because 3, 6, and then 1 Invigorate wins. Invigorate Berserk just wins the game. So we're on a draw step. We draw another hierarch. So now we're kind of like going wide. So I just dropped 2 hierarchs and get in there and hit for 4. Again, we have this crop rotation as a backup infect creature, which is why I love it in the deck. So we grab Force of Will, and we have plenty of lands, so we can actually cast this Force of Will. So we hit again for 8, and again we have the backup. Alright. They grab that, what we do, and then they just concede because, we had the win there. So that was game number 1. That was a pretty straightforward game. And this is versus, I think, that Abzan small combo deck. So, it was a fun match. We'll be back with game 2. Alright, so we're in game number 2 of match number 1. We're on the draw because we won that game, so we have a pretty good hand here. I mean, we're missing lands, but we have Veil, so we'll see how this turned out. So they play a Veteran Explorer, so we are against Nick Fit. It's Abzan Nick Fit / small combo. Alright, so we grab a forest, and this is where I messed up here because I shouldn't have done this. I should have just kept the fetch lane up or played the hierarch. I shouldn't have fetched. That was dumb. And then, that was just dumb. I was super worried about Cabal Therapy, which is why I fetched, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose the Cabal Therapy here. So what I have to do now is hold up Veil Summer, but then I left myself completely open to Wasteland. So this was a misplay. Not a huge fan of my line of play here. But so they untap, they play a land, and they didn't play a swamp, so they couldn't even have done it, and I should have just played the hierarch anyway, but I didn't. That was a mistake. We go to our draw set, we draw Force of Will. So now I feel better to play the hierarch because we have a backup spell, we have enough pump to kill, we're okay. So they source the hierarch. I'm cool with that. I didn't want to fight over that. Maybe I should have, I'm not sure, but I didn't. And we drew a Ponder. In the Ponder, we found a land, so we put that on top, and we drew the land, we played the land, so now we have Veil as a backup. So they Plague Engineer. Okay, so Plague Engineer is really interesting right now because of that new Phyrexian creature type. It really just hoses the entire deck now that this is a Phyrexian, so I had to Force a Will. I'm glad I didn't fight over the Source of Plowshares at this point. So again, attacking with a Veteran Explorer, and we go ahead and fetch on end step, which again shouldn't have done. I don't know why. I'm messing up my fetching so much. But anyway, we drew Inkmoth Nexus, and we play that, and we still have Veil. So I'm feeling pretty good about our spot right now. and they tap out and they play Arena Rector. This gives me the green light to go ahead, and I'm ready to go. So my misplays weren't overly punished here, and then this is pretty much standard how that goes. Invigorate, invigorate, vines. Invigorate, invigorate, vines of Basswood, and we got there. So that was my match number 1. It was pretty fun. I misplayed pretty hard in game number 2. I don't know why. Sometimes that just happens. I like get like flustered for some reason, and I start fetching for no reason and stuff. So it's one of my downfalls as a player. But Infect was fun. I didn't get to use the Veil, which is sad, and they didn't find any of their payoffs, which is unfortunate, because if they had a Cabal Therapy here, oh man, we would have been screwed. So, all right, that was match number 1. I'll be back with match number 2. Alright, hello and welcome to another video here. This is the next round of the tournament. We're in round number 2, and we're going to recap how I played with Legacy Infect. So, this match, you know, this hand's pretty good. We have what we need. So what happens here? Forget that, we're going to play the Nova Hierarch. Pretty standard turn 1 play. Chrome, okay, this was a cheap play. They Chrome Moxed, I dazed. Just because I figured it was free. But they actually pitched a City Spirit Guide to pay for it. So it's a little unfortunate. And you see here, using War Boss. We now know that we're against Mono Red Prison. And they come down hard with the Chalice. Now Chalice is really hard for us to beat here. We don't really have any main deck answers, so I hit them for 1. They play Trinisphere. Okay, so now we're really not doing too well here. We grab a Blade Agent, so I go ahead and I believe I dropped the I dropped the Blade Agent here. The other option was to hit for 2. I didn't feel that was the best move. So then they got Archman's Ravager. So we have a Daze that we can actually pay for, so we're going to hit for 2. And now we're on that slow plan. Hoping that Daze gets us there. They draw 3 new cards. Blood Moon. Regale Forest, just because we have it. Spell Pierce, another card we can't cast. Take them to 4. And this is like the highlight of how good this card is. Anji's Ravager. Alright, so they attack. They get 3 more. Now we're in a tight race. We draw another land, get a little flooded here. Can't even hard cast a Force of Will with all that land. So they're at 6 now. You take us down to 5. They draw a bunch more cards. Snare Bridge we're okay with. Rival Master, we daze just because we can. And puts a 5th card in graveyard before we become immense. We draw a Brainstorm. We take them to 8. We can still win, block, but then they got us by killing us with that. With the Abrade. If it wasn't for the Abrade, we actually had a chance if we drew a better pump spell on the following turn, but we didn't. Alright, well, back with the next game. Alright, so we're in game number 2 of match number 2. Let's see what happens. We are on the play. We have Force of Vigor. We have some creatures. This hand's pretty good. We do not have this to pay for days, though. No island to pay for days. But we keep. And we're going to go ahead and... here, I drop a Hierarch. Again, I typically like to play Hierarch before I play anything else. They Chrome Mox. Ancient Tomb. And no big 3-drop there. So, what we get to do... I'm going to drop Wasteland. I'm paying that off. Then play the elf. So they played Island, and they don't do anything. They missed their 3 because they were trying to get to 4. So I'm thinking they have some pretty nice 4 drops. But we go. I attack. Boom. Alright, I put up Brainstorm here. Not quite what we're looking for here. So I put those cards back. And now they are at 2 Infect. But we've got the Chalice on 1. That was a misplay on their part. They could have just paid the 1. I don't know why they wasted that, but I felt pretty good about that when that happened. So now we have a target for our Force of Vigor. And we attack for 2. And now we have 4 mana. And we Force of Vigor. Taking out the Chalice and the Chromox, hitting their mana. They play Cossack's Return. This is where they kind of hit us hard here. But we can rebound here. Take them to 6. I had the option to play the Agent, but I didn't. So now they're playing Snare Bridge, just trying to stop us from attacking at 0, which is a good play. We got a Force of Will, so now we're just trying to find an out to this Ensnaring Bridge. Play that. We forced the Goblin Rabble Master. I just didn't want them to have, like, on their turn, be able to attack with 1,000,000 creatures. So we're in with the Hierarch Beats. They play another one. We got Become Immense. Doesn't quite help us. This was a scenario that I was trying to avoid. We draw the Force of Vigor. So now, this was a key play. Become Events in the backup. It's in the chamber. And we exile our 5, and we hit him. And that ends that game. Alright, we're back with game number 3. Just a sec. Alright, so now we're game number 3, match number 2. And this hand, not capable, unfortunately. A little bad, but boom, that's a kill, right, with the daze. So we keep. I drop a turn 1 Snaring Bridge. Don't like that play from their side. But anyway, here I drew the Elf, so I decided to drop the Elf. I typically play Hierarch before Elf, but this is a turn 2 kill with daze backup, so I went for it. And let's see how that played out. So they 3 Rabble Master. We in response daze because we don't need blockers here, and now we have the go ahead. So we drop the Hierarch, we attack, we invigorate, and Dead Seize. Alright, so we got there in game number 3. We're now currently 2-0 in this league. We'll be back with our round number 3. Alright, so we're in the Community Legacy League. I'm BoBoFraggles, recorded with Infect, and we're going to recap these matches. So, we're against Death and Taxes here. I don't know that it's, I do know that time, but I'm playing against Bandit Roll. He's always on that deck. So, the hand has a turn 1 answer to Vial, which I like, and a Ponder to find an Infect creature. So, on there was interesting because there was 2 Inkmoth Nexi and another land. So we decided to keep both, even though like half the time I'm not the biggest fan of Inkmoth in this matchup because of Rashad and Port and Wasteland. But they Vial, we daze. I probably should have just forced there maybe, but anyway, they play Thalia, which is a major pain. We fetch, we grab a Tropical Island, we draw another land, we play the Inkmoth. We have the Become Immense to pay through a Thalia tax, which is pretty awesome. Fix 2, they play a Sanctum Prelate, and they name 3 for Invigorate, which is fair. Little do they know that we have become immense. So we hit them for 1. They attack us for 4. Take us down to 11. They play Stoneforge Mystic, which we force a will. Jete, it would have been game over, and we don't want that. So again, we hit them for 2. We're very, very flooded. They draw a card. They take us to 9. They play a mom. Noble. All right. So Noble plus Become Immense at 2 is lethal. So what we do is we play, we activate, and this one we do play into Source of Plowshares. This game is not going to get better, and we pay this. We pay the Thalia tax, and we get there for 8. Again, dead to Source of Plowshares. I knew that. They already played 1 swords. I took the risk, and we got there. So I feel like it was worth it. But you know, we'll see. We'll see how game number 2 goes. Alright, so this is game number 2 of match number 3, Infect. So this hand's not keepable, unfortunately, so we have to maul. This hand is okay. We have a Swords of Plowshares, 2 Swords of Plowshares, and you know, Ink Monster. We get rid of the days. I probably should have cut a land here. Like thinking back on it, I should have kept that days, and I didn't. So he plays that. We drop Hierarch. They play Schadenport and Thalia for the Thalia tax. So we play 2 elves. Now they take one of our elves. Okay. That went a little quick, but we brainstormed, didn't quite find what we want. We can't quite cast Source of Plowshares here, and I pass. This Thalia was a bigger pain than I thought it was going to be, but Deafening Silence was really good against us. And you see here, they're going off. They just have like a really, really good set of hands here. So now I'm thinking like the Swords of Plowshares are going to be used to kind of like stop equipment from attaching, because you know they're going to take up 4 mana to do this. And they attach. So I let it attach. I think you should attach to a little bit of a different creature. But I sort the Plowshares here. I get the 1/1. Play another elf. Attack in, thinking that I'll just, you know, if they block, then I'll just try to kill it. So they have to play Sanctum Prelate on 1. This was the backbreaker, because now the Swords is dead. They attach, and there's nothing much we can do. We concede. Without the Sanctum Prelate on 1, we had a good shot here. But early game, I should have kept the days because they played out on curve. If I had kept that days, we would have done better. But so that was that game. Let's move on to game number 3. Alright, so this is game number 3 of match number 3. Let's see how this game played out. I don't exactly quite remember. I know there was a big misclick here. Misclick of the century. Okay, so we have like Invigorate, Berserk. This hand would have been awesome if we just had an Infect creature, but we didn't. And here, I'm kind of debating on if we should have just kept it because we have Force of Vigor, which is like so good, plus the kill, plus cards to pitch. But I opted to mulligan. This hand's not bad. And what did I get rid of? Okay, so I got rid of, I can't remember exactly what I got rid of there, but we have Ink Moss, we have Nobles, we have Swords, we have, you know, Invigorate, you know, we're doing pretty good. So, of course, as you can see, we drop the Hierarch, they drop an Aether Vial, so it's going to be a bad game. So we drop the Ink Moth, the Aether Vial up to 1, Deafening Silence again. And this is okay, so I misplayed here pretty hard too. I didn't realize that after Deafening Silence hits the field and I cast the spell, I thought it didn't count before 1. So I misplayed here because I cast a spell into this knowing that he has something here that I could potentially do. I misplayed. So That's right, I could have crop rotated at end turn or something like that, but Invigorate Berserk, but with this Deafening Silence on the field, it kind of sucks. So I put the Berserk and the High Arc back, and then they Wasteland us. Okay, so we're still feeling okay, because we have another one, and we play another Infarct, and we just hold because end of turn Mom. On 2, they put a Thalia into play. I probably should have swords that Thalia there. Again, we can't do anything, so we hit for 3. We're at 3 Infect. They swords the Plowshares, and we crop rotation to grab another one. So we got through with swords. Then they Wasteland us again. So we play this here. We have Invigorate Berserk that we can't do anything with. I attack into a 2-3, hit him to 18. The game's starting to slip out of our reach here. Now here's where I think I messed up. Oh, right. Okay, because they had a Sanctum Prelate on 1, we couldn't cast a sword, so I Invigorated to kill that thing. Right? Plays another land. Plays Aethersworn. And then he goes off with, I believe, Archon of Emeria. Okay. So end of turn, I couldn't cast anything because of the end of turn. So now we have this, but we know we're not getting through. We're not casting 2 spells in a turn. So I'm thinking this is a removal spell and this is a removal spell. So I don't do anything. They attack like that. We get rid of the Archon. Now they're pretty much have free reign to do whatever. Okay, so this is where I messed up bad. This is starting to come back to me now. Alright, so this was like the punt of the century. Right here. Because we draw Brainstorm, right? We cast Brainstorm. I see Umezawa's Jite and a Noble Hierarch. Okay. Umezawa's Jit is going to win us this game if it connects. Right? If it connects, we are gold. So what I should have done is put back the Invigorate Berserk. These cards are useless. I should have kept these 3 cards and played the Jit this turn. But watch what I did. Okay. So I did keep those 3 cards, but then watch what I did. First of all, why didn't I cast that Hierarch? Right? Oh, can't cast additional non-artifact spells. That's right. Okay. So I'm not able to cast any of the spells. Here it is. This is the punt. I had put back the Invigorate, but watch what I do. I block. Why? Why did I block? The dumbest thing. And in chat, I had mentioned, I was like, oh no, I didn't mean to, I could have, in the moment, I thought I had Invigorate in hand that I was going to block Invigorate. But that didn't work, and then I lost that, leaving us on the end of short to play the legit. So I play the Hierarch, and we're just behind. I can't cast any more spells. I block, I Invigorate, they swords it. We're just in bad shape here. Now I play this, but then they put an Archon of Emeria into play, and we lost. So I potentially had a play there. I could have won. The Thalia was a big mess, but this and this card were pretty good against us. So that was round number 3. So we're currently 2-1 at this point. Again, huge punt. I have nothing else to say about it except I punted. So it happens from time to time. Alright, so we're in round number 4 now of the Community Legacy League. And I believe I'm on the draw here. So let's see what happened. I kept this hand, I got my Vinda, I got some stuff going on. They play and they duress us. Duress does not mean Glistener Elf, so they take our Spell Pierce, which I'm thinking now they're on like Storm or something. So we go ahead and we drop that elf. No, so they are on Turbo Depths, and they wanted the Spell Pierce so that they could still scrying to get their combo. So now what we do is we drop, and look what we see. Boom and boom. Alright, and they are boom and boom tapped out. And we have Daze back up, so of course we go for the kill. And we got there in game number 1. Alright, we're back with game number 2 in just a second. Alright, so we are in game number 2 of the Community Legacy League. This hand sucks in this matchup. I'm just not a fan of it. If we had a Berserk, I mean, sure, but we don't. And I mulligan that. This hand's even worse. We have 6 lands and a Glistener Elf, so I mulligan that as well. So now we're cooking. I have Swords of Plowshares, I have High Arc, and I have 2 Infect creatures and a Brainstorm. This hand's great, but I have to take 2 down, so I actually get rid of the Glistener Elf because it can be blocked pretty easily. And then I get rid of the Berserk, okay? Because I'm keeping my reactive hand on the draw. So on turn 1, they duress us, they take the sword, so now we're not looking too good, but we draw Ink Moth. So we're going to play that. So now they Sylvan Scrying, they find their Thespian stage, they play the Thespian stage, and this is where the matchup turns. They play one, they name Windswept Teeth, trying to cut us off on mana. They should have named it Ink Moth Nexus. Just 100%, they should have named it. We discussed it after the match, and they realized they just got super greedy. So, you know, but they didn't. So we drop that. We drop another High Arc, and we drop Blighted Agent. Okay. So now they have their combo ready to go. We attack in for 3. And I know that I have a blocker ready. So they attack. I activate beginning of combat phase. They attack. I block. So now it's a 19-19 and we're still at 20. So like we're actually in pretty good shape here. So I decided just to come. I want to go for the kill here. I want to try to find something that's going to make us win. So I grab a Brainstorm. Brainstorm reveals crop rotation, 2 Force of Vigors. So here's what I do. I put the 2 Force of Vigors back, right? And then I play the Pendelhaven. And then I, again, a little bit of a mess up here. I should have made it a 4 and attacked up to, make them up to 7, right? Then that way I could have played the Glistener Elf and the Screwed Boy. Here's what I decided to do here. I crop rotation, right? And I grab Caracas, right? And I bounce it, right? I talked to them about this play, and they were literally just trying to dig. And they did draw a card because of the Brainstorm. They were trying to dig for a Not of This World, which I still think would have stayed, because that would have taken us to 1 life, and then we would have won the following turn. But it goes away. So now I'm feeling pretty good. So they Abrupt Decay our creature. We grab an Ink Moth Nexus, and this is just the best draw I think we could have probably asked for. But I go ahead and I hit them for 2. And untap, and they attempted to Abrupt Decay. We drew a Vines, and we won. So we went 3-1 in tonight's league. Definitely had some suboptimal play, but I really enjoyed this league. I run the league while playing it, so like half the time my plays are, I'm constantly, you know, messaging people trying to figure out like what's going on, make sure everyone is okay. So, yeah, that was the league, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be back with more content for sure.